try this again. So, do we know the likely tax impost on a farmer who is using an SMSF with a balance exceeding the new tax threshold in the bill?
We do. Our only drama with answering that with any certainty, Senator, is that we actually don't know the market value of assets at the end of the year, until the end of the year.
But you have a formula which you can apply.
Correct.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So we know how much an ordinary person like a farmer might have to pay because we have the formula in the bill before the Senate now. So the question is, do we know the likely tax burden on the politician who will be subject to this new tax?
You can work it out, Senator, but for people who don't administer that scheme, don't work with that scheme all day, every day, it's very difficult.
So is there any way that we can work out how much Mr Albanese would be up for paying in the new tax that he's seeking to apply to other people?
Technically, you can do it.
Okay, but will it be?
I have not. The problem is, Senator, is that there are so many different factors. It's a matter of having the time. It's not. It's such a complex matter to actually answer when you don't deal with that fund all day, every day, and we don't deal with that fund all day, every day.
Okay, but so do you think it's a good idea that the Parliament's being asked to vote on a bill which is going to impose a new tax on Australians, but the detail of how this will apply to politicians like Mr Albanese is not known in this process, and we can't even get a sense of how much tax a politician like Mr Albanese would have to pay?
Well, I think it's probably the case that it's for all defined benefit members, not just for one. So I think this problem exists for all of those individuals. So that's probably a less than ideal. Clearly, that's a less than ideal situation, isn't it?
Less than ideal. So why wouldn't the regulations be part of the main bill? Is there a reason for that?
Maybe a question for Treasury, but it might have been because it's so difficult.
Yeah, but would it be possible to have all the information together in this bill? I mean, it would have been possible for the regulations here to be in the bill.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yes, but the rules for DB pensions, Senator, are DB funds are complex, and they just, they're better in regulations.
But my point to you is, when we look at a bill, we have a Senate process, we have transparency. We can come in and we can ask you, the long-standing superannuation experts, about how this is going to work, how fair it is, how reasonable it is. There are significant equity issues here about a politician, particularly a Prime Minister, excising himself from the primary bill and then sending it off to subordinate regulation, because there's no scrutiny there, is there?
Well, regulations are disallowable, aren't they, Senator?
But are we going to have a hearing into these regulations?
I don't know, Senator.
Very unlikely, as you know. So wouldn't it be better if all these matters were dealt with together?
I think, from a legislative point of view and from someone who interprets legislation, yes, it's much better all in one spot. I agree.
I would have thought so. Okay, thank you very much for that.